Greetings. In this part of our discussion, we are trying to shed some light over the terrorist Israeli Jewish nation. To understand their terrorism, we have to look at their history past, 3,000 years back, because we have this occasion repeated. 3,000 years back, they came to invade Palestine, take Palestine from the Palestinians, take Palestine over the bodies of the Palestinians, and the bloodshed and the massacres. This happened 3,000 years back, which will help us and help those of us to understand their terrorism in Palestine today. If we cannot learn from the past, we will never learn. We'll keep being stupid, blind, like those media in the West who are handling the cover-up for the Israeli terrorism, the state of Israel. We are still in chapter 10. And now we are going to read, verse 38 from the book of Joshua. This chapter 10 is so horrific. Very well. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to Dibber, and fought against it. We understand now. We gave so many examples. What does it mean, fought against it? What's the end game? To slaughter everyone with the edge of the sword. Leave nobody breathing from their enemies. Now, their enemies, this is confusing. Why they are their enemies? What they have done? Nothing. They are their enemies because they have land that Joshua and the Israelis want to take. That's the only crime those people have. The Palestinians, their only crime, that they are living in their land, on their property, and the Israeli Jews want. So just because they want the land doesn't make any sense. Making enemies of people because you want their land. Like, we have done against the Red Indians. They became our enemies. They became terrorists. They became barbarians. Why? Because we want the land. So we had to annihilate all the tribes of the Red Indians in North America. So, verse 39 says, and he took it, and the king therefore thereof, and all the cities thereof, and they smote them with the edge of the sword. Please understand, this is the religion of the sword. This Judeo-Christian book teaches the religion of the sword, not the Quran, not Islam. This is the religion of the sword. With the edge of the sword, spread, occupy, invade, destroy, commit massacres, shed blood, and rape the land, and rape the possessions of the people that you kill. Smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed all the souls that were therein. Utterly destroyed. This is literally, I'm reading from the book. You can open to Joshua chapter 10, verse 39. It says, and utterly destroyed all the souls that were therein. He left none remaining. Nobody to tell. As he had done to Hebron, so he did to Dibber, and to the king thereof, as he had also to Libnah and to her king. It is. Verse 40 says, so Joshua smote all the country of the hills, all the country of the hills, on every hill, any country. He smote all the country of the hills, and of the south, and of the vale, and of the springs, all over. Everywhere he goes, anywhere his hand reaches, destruction, smiting with the edge of the sword, mass murder, massacres, bloodshed, robbing the belongings of those who died at the hands of the Israeli Jews, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but utterly, this is what the book said, I'm reading, but utterly destroyed all that breathed, all that breathed, all that breathed, utterly destroyed all that breathed. Why? As the Lord God of Israel commanded. What a miserable God is this. What a miserable, rotten God is this. Utterly destroyed everything that breathed. Why? Why? 3,000 years back, there is no other land, empty land, good land, to take this rotten nation, to live on. He had to come a land so populated with people, full with people, to kill them, commit mass murder, massacres, bloodshed, utterly destroyed everything that breathed. What for? As if, this God is going to die if he doesn't do this. It's a matter of life and death for God or the Israelis. Why did it didn't go anywhere else? Land was empty 3,000 years back. Today, some places are heavily populated, but back then, for crying out loud, 3,000 years back, all planet Earth was available for the dwelling. No need to go to a populated land full with people to commit massacres and bloodshed. Doesn't make any sense. Verse 41 says, and Joshua smote them from Kadesh Barnea even unto Gaza. Gaza. Poor Gaza. Poor Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of Gaza's people continuously destroyed at the hands of these stupid Israeli, the terrorists, and calling Gaza people who are fighting, defending themselves by terrorists, with the stupid media in the West covering up. And all the country of Goshen, even unto Gibeon. They smote with the edge of the sword every living human being that breathed. Verse 42 says, and all these kings and their land did Joshua take at one time. He took, killing the people and take the land. Because the Lord God of Israel fought for Israel. Fought for Israel. This is worse than Genghis Khan. This is worse than any criminal, war criminal we ever experienced in the history of mankind. I mean, we expect this from people, but from God? Must be very rotten. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, unto the camp of Gilgal. My friends, if there is any shred of humanity left in us, in you, any shred of humanity, even an atom-like, and you don't resent those actions of the Israeli Jews against the Palestinians 3,000 years back and today, then you have no humanity left in you. You are so miserable. If you have a shred of humanity, if you have a shred of decency, left in you, you will say no to this terrorism. You will understand what they are doing against the Palestinians today. You will realize that the Palestinians are not the terrorists. Israelis are the terrorists. This state of Israel removed a full country from existence, from the maps, used to call Palestine. They removed it and they placed, the state of Israel in its place. Why? Why? Why you are so quiet? Why you cover up for this? Why you support this rotten, evil, terrorist nation? Why? Is there any decency left in you? Are you still a human being? Or a beast? Or Satan himself? Or Satan advocate? To spread evil, rotten nation like this and support it. Every stupid who goes to the White House, he say Israel has the right to defend itself. Why Israel has the right to defend itself? And what about the Palestinians? They don't have the right to defend themselves against this rotten Israeli terrorism? No, you're stupid and you are mistaken. Israel has no right. Those murderers, the only right they have is to be executed. If today anybody commit a murder, if he goes to court, they will put him to the chair or hang him. Why you are not applying this law to this stupid nation? That's not killing one soul, killing hundreds of thousands in mass murder and massacres and raping the land to colonize it. Why you are biased? Why you do not apply the law of the Lord that you believe in? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, mentioned in the book, in the Old Testament. As they kill, they should be killed. But because you are rotten, you support them. And destruction is coming.